Are you recording?
Yes, it's recording.
I mean, I wanted to be a little bit more prepared this time, but it's okay because I do work a full-time job and own a business, and I'm also an actress and had to record an audition today, so it's fine.
You're not an actress. You're now a podcaster.
I'm many things.
That's what you are.
I'm a mom.
Nope, podcaster.
I'm an actress.
Nope.
I'm a podcaster.
No kids.
I'm a business
just podcasting.
owner. I'm a bitch. I'm a lover.
I'll give you that one.
Child.
I'll give you that one.
I'm a sinner. I'm a saint. I do not feel ashamed.
What's up? I'm Z.
Actually, I'm Z.
I was Z first.
Doesn't matter. We're here to spill our tea, and if you don't want to hear our tea, then deuces.
Deuces, the name of the show. Let's get into the tea.
Tea.
Don't make that sound. Oh my gosh.
I'm extra tired today, ladies and gentlemen, so who knows what you're going to get on the pod today. Are you ready for topic number 1?
Are you going to keep doing that voice?
I just might. Veneers. First of all, yes, veneers. And there's also a situation going around. People are calling themselves veneer techs. They're not actually dentists. They're out here doing veneers, mainly in Atlanta. And people are actually going to these people, which I think is wild.
So they just like go online and print out a certificate and
there's a guy.
And they buy the stuff on Temu. And they're like, I got you right here, the purple stuff.
Listen, there's a guy on TikTok, him and some guy who's allegedly a dentist. And they're like, veneer tech training class. They have a whole commercial. And people go and get trained for one full day. They pay all this money for this little kit. And then boom, they're out there doing veneers out of their house.
Are people getting messed up?
Well, I'm glad you asked that question. So here's this girl.
But this stuff that I have been dealing with for 2 years.
Crying on TikTok.
Because of my freaking teeth.
2 years.
Is like, I don't even know what to do anymore. And like, the only place I can really go to is my platforms. As everybody pretty much knows, 2 years ago.
It's kind of long, so we're
gonna... Yeah, I'm about to say how long's the video.
Just praying that something works for me. And nothing works. Nothing ever works. They offered to give me my money back within the first year, and I told them no, so that I could bring awareness, because like people are just like, you know, out there getting veneers and whatever the case may be. Like, my life is literally ruined because I got my teeth redone. Like, I'm not even joking.
What's wrong with them?
I'm constantly in pain. I can't even close my mouth properly. I have to wear a retainer every single day. 24/7 pretty much.
She also has TMJ.
To even close my mouth comfortably. No
like
bite adjustments.
Peanut butter jelly?
Okay. Nothing. I've done 100 bite adjustments. I've gone to 10 different dentists, 4 different TMJ doctors. I've done integrative medicine. I've done acupuncture. I've done everything you could possibly. I've done hypnosis. I've literally done everything you could possibly do.
What would hypnosis
to
hypnotize you into thinking your mouth doesn't hurt? I don't know. Long story short, though.
Too late.
I mean, we can link that so you guys can watch it. But she spent like 80 grand so far already.
$80,000?
80.
I want to start off by saying this. These teeth that I have are thanks to my mother working 2 jobs so she could have double insurance so she could pay for me to have braces. And I thank her for that. And then I see people that have one crooked tooth slightly to the left. And they're like, oh, my mouth is horrible. No, my mouth was horrible. If I closed my mouth, you can still see my teeth through a closed mouth. That's how my teeth work.
His teeth was... We should insert a picture.
If I have one. I burned them all. So we can
show the people.
I burned them all.
It was horrible.
But to be like, I mean, I'm not saying that she deserved to get done wrong, but $80,000, like what were her teeth like before? They were straight. She just wanted them more white. And then she went to get them more white. And because she went to somebody that was on Temu, she got a Temu doctor, Temu dentist, and they messed up her teeth. Basically. And then she paid $80,000 trying to undo what they did. Is that the story? Whose fault is that? Who's responsible?
All parties involved.
I agree. All
because
parties involved.
also, if you went to a legit professional, you know, they would talk to you about the risks, or they'd be like, don't do this, or because there are people out there who have veneers done properly that are fine. But yeah, people are still just going to Homeboy in Atlanta, Mr. Veneer Tech. Like, that's not a thing. How you gonna let somebody in your mouth that's not a dentist? Like, that just blows my mind with how far and crazy and obsessed people have gotten with their looks. And then for me, it's just like veneers, fillers, BBLs, all that.
BBL,
I feel like BBL Jersey. Anyway, I feel like there hasn't been enough time. We don't know what the side effects are going to be, the long-term effects. There just hasn't been enough time. And people are just so like, yes, inject me with this foreign substance that's never been in a human body before because I want my cheeks to be clapping. Yes,
that's crazy.
Shave my real teeth down and give me this because I want to. Like, it's why it blows my mind. I used to be like, I'm going to get a tummy tuck. I'm going to get a tummy tuck. All three of my babies were huge. Okay. Huge. My stomach is out of control. And I would always be like, I'm going to get a tummy tuck. I'm going to get a tummy tuck. I'm going to get a tummy tuck. And like, just, I don't know, the older I got, I'm just like, and that's not even injecting anything into my body. I'm just like, I don't think I want to do that anymore.
Yeah, I mean, I got keloids, so I was thinking about doing the 48-hour abs things from Airoscope, and I was like, I mean, I do work out, and I do want to not have to watch my diet. I could watch my diet and be at 10% body fat, but I don't want to do that. So I feel like it's a cheat, but it's
100%.
Like, I mean, I feel like I'm all for it.
But even with that cheat, you're still going to have to do things to maintain.
But I do that to maintain right now. So if it's not like I can maintain what I'm doing right now and keep it like bimps, like, yeah, I mean, it's just a stubborn area that it's not like I don't work out. But yeah, I think about the same thing because I do have keloids. Apparently, all of a sudden, like after 40 years of not having it, apparently I have keloids. So then it's like, well, I don't want to make anything worse. And I can always work manually to get it versus doing something physically to have my cheeks clapping. And that's, you're talking about the mouth. This is a saying for the face cheeks?
I was talking about the BBL.
Okay. All right. That makes more sense. I was all like, I thought she was talking about the girl with the veneers. I was all like to get your cheeks clapped. Okay. All right. That makes more sense. But yeah, it is. It's definitely vanity. And while by no means I feel like anybody ever deserves anything to be wrong, at the same time, it's all like, you know, kind of you've received your reward for your actions. You know what I'm saying?
And I think it's too, that girl specifically, I'm assuming she's an influencer because she was like, I have nowhere to go but my platforms. So clearly she has like people that listen to her. So maybe
which
that
is why she
made
can afford $80,000.
Correct. And which also probably made her feel like, let me tell you something right now, baby. Because when this podcast blow up, because I know you guys like us.
It already has.
I'm not going to be like, oh, well, I need no. You'll get these locks, these naps, this mama belly until, you know, and another thing about it too for me though is I feel like it will be more rewarding to like work hard and get those results. Yeah. Like I've already made peace with the fact that I'm always going to have this skin because I'm a big woman. I've had big babies. That's fine. I'm a mom.
It's a shepherd genes for sure.
You know, it's just like, that's what it is. So I've already made peace with that. So it's just like, I'd rather just work hard and change my diet.
Well, you definitely
and get those results.
Because I've seen your workouts. So you definitely could work harder.
We're not even going to do that.
But I mean,
because baby, how much do you squat?
It's the same thing that I said.
How much do you push on a leg press?
Me not wanting, not
how
a lot.
How much you do on a calf
knees,
machine?
You doing all leg stuff. My knees are messed up. I'm disabled. Get out of here. What are you talking about?
My knees is also messed up, but I still be lifting. How much you bench?
Not the legs.
How much you bicep
Let's do
curl?
Upper body.
How much you bicep?
I can do the 60s, but I won't because I'll be hurt. It's better to do.
Your form don't be right.
It's better to do higher reps. No, I can get about probably 1, 2, 3 good ones.
His form don't be right. One episode, we gonna be in a gym. Y'all just wait.
We are gonna
Anyway.
be in the gym. Then we gonna see. Finally.
We gonna see.
Finally.
We gonna see. 'Cause you just
anyway.
be running your mouth.
I will say this. I also run the calories up. That's what I'm talking about. So anyway, I will say this. I feel like, when I look at the, like I said, the whole like the air scope thing, it's like, I mean, it's science.
Air sculpt is what
air
you're saying?
sculpt. That's what it's
Okay.
called. I mean, I'm trying to get a sponsorship, but it's like
Sonobello.
it is, but it isn't. It's different apparently. Like I looked it up, and it's like you can go and leave the same day and still like walk around.
Because I know a
and
girl
stuff
who
like
did the
that.
Sonobello and she regretted it. She said, "I wish I never would have did it." So, just throwing that out there.
Interesting. There's that too. I mean, there's always like horror stories. Like there's always, it's not 100% that things aren't going to go wrong. So it's always a possibility of things going wrong. So then it's all like, I mean, is it really worth it for me to chance it? And I think that at the end of the day, that's what it comes down to. It's like, you know what? I know what the chances are of it going wrong, but I want to do this and I'm willing to accept the consequences of my actions. And that's $80,000 in a hole and me trying to correct it. It's all like, well, you live and you learn. You know what I'm saying? But it's not the end of the world. I mean, she's still cute.
She is. She's just cute with constant jaw pain and she can't close her mouth and she got to wear a retainer every second of the day. But she's cute.
I mean, she could probably go to a professional.
And as someone who
Get that
has
fixed.
TMJ, just because I have it, it can be really painful because I've been grinding my teeth since I've had them. Yeah, it is. It
You
can
remember?
be pretty painful.
You remember when you first got teeth? You remember grinding them?
I remember being little and mom being like, Zanetta. And me being like, what? Stop grinding your teeth because she could hear it.
Yeah, I remember that too. But you remember that. You remember.
I just said I remember it.
Since you had teeth.
Well, come on.
Okay. All right.
I got my teeth at what, like 2?
I was going to say 3. I remember you used to grind your teeth actually.
I was grinding my teeth at 3?
Yeah, in the car seat.
I had a feeling.
I was sitting next to you in the car seat.
Crazy.
I remember hearing it.
Crazy.
Yeah.
I knew it. I knew it had been since I was a bit. So that's why I have TMJ. And it's not fun. So, I mean, but I don't have the pain every single day. So I'm sure that sucks very much. And it's not worth it.
It does suck. And people are probably in comments like, oh, that's what you get. Which is crazy. It's like, well, I mean, yeah, no. Like, I guess, what if it was perfect? You'd be all like, oh, that's what you get.
Right.
But it's like, when somebody does something and something goes wrong, people be all like, oh, since I can't afford to go do that,
Exactly.
that should have happened to you because you shouldn't have been doing that, even though you work hard for that money and that opportunity to be able to go and do whatever it is that you did. So I will say that prayers go to her.
Mm-hmm.
And if she has platforms, I can't imagine why she wouldn't be able to go to a professional.
Well, she's gone to a bunch. That's what she's saying. She's like, I don't know what else to do. I've gone to so many. But what she's got to do is she's got to find the best. And she's just going to have to spend another 80, to be honest.
It's probably going to be more like 120.
Worth it if you relieved.
And then just be like, well, okay, let me grind, get some more platforms, and then never do that again.
Right. There you go. Speaking of platforms and TikTok, are we ready to pivot?
Yes.
We're going to pivot. And we're going to talk about this video I actually just saw today of this mom on TikTok. And she was like, I heard, we can link it or whatever. I heard people was saying I was lying about dealing with DV. DV is domestic violence, if you don't know. Hopefully that's okay for YouTube. We'll figure it out. It's not. You want to say I was lying? Okay, Zay, come here. And she calls her little kid over. We don't see the kid. We just hear him. How are you doing, my precious little boy? Or whatever she said. I'm fine. And then, can mommy ask you a question? And I'm thinking, as I'm watching this, I'm like, please don't do what I think you're about to do.
I was thinking the same thing.
And then she goes, when Josiah was here, did you ever see him put his hands on mommy? Yes. And did you see mommy ever hit him back? No. Okay, thank you, baby. You could go play. Blows my mind.
Like I said, I don't
Blows
use
my
this
mind.
word, but it's disgusting. And I say that because watching it literally makes my stomach feel weird because it's like, oh my gosh, like I'm not trying to judge anybody, but I feel like you don't want to do that for your child. One, it's who put them in that situation. Now, if we're dissecting things, right? It's not okay. DV is not okay.
For sure.
But if she used the first name, then that may not have been the child's biological father. Then why do you have somebody in the house? And then why are you putting your child in that situation? And now why are you talking about the situation? Which is one, it's all like, I mean, it's okay because you're talking about it like, did this happen? And it's like, that's not how you should be talking about DV,
Right.
especially with an impressionable child. Like if you're with adults that can understand, okay, yeah, sure. But you're with an impressionable child that is, it sounded like it was a boy who's going to grow up and possibly do the same thing and think like, well, she was almost making a joke about it. So then I don't even understand why I have these feelings now. And then this is the result in how you're approaching it now to where I feel like, well, this is how she talked about it. And now the effects of that, it's like the example that I give when I be preaching. The flood happened and it rained for 40 days and 40 nights, but it took like almost over a year for the water to finally subside on the earth.
Mhm.
So one action that didn't last as long as the consequences. So this one action happened, and then now there's going to be these consequences, and now you're kind of compounding on it for what? Some people to be in the comments like, okay, we believe you.
Right.
Well, like, I mean, is
Like,
that
what
the
was the
best
point of that?
motherly decision for your
Absolutely
child
not.
to make?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. And as someone who has children with multiple people, and it's always been important for me to just make sure they have good relationships with their fathers and make sure that they are just shielded from anything unnecessary they don't need to be around or hear about or whatever. I'm going to tread lightly because two of them are teenagers and probably going to be listening to this podcast. But I've always just been
Bag open.
I've always just been I don't know. I've always just very much been like putting my kids first since I had, my son 16 years ago. And it's just like the way some of these baby mamas' brains or women's brains are just wired, like I just don't understand it. Like how she thought it would be a good idea to call her small child, he sounded rather young, over to post a TikTok to be like, did you see mommy get beat up by that man?
And that was on social media, like
forever.
The internet is undefeated. You about to get ate up. One, the kid probably gonna get ate up, and then they're gonna go to school. And it's like these are everlasting effects. And when you make emotional decisions, you don't be thinking about the everlasting effects because you want to make a decision right then and there, regardless of what the emotion is, rather it's lust, rather it's anger, the endorphins being released. It's like, I'm going to do this now because I feel like it and I'm not thinking about the consequences. And then when the consequences come, it's all like, shoot.
Yep. It was wild to me watching it. I was like, am I really watching this train wreck happen right now on my phone? Why is she doing this? Why is this on my FYP? E-Kane. That's why. If you know, you know. It's because I watch E-Kane.
Because it was all like, hey, we know you're messy. How about this video?
Yeah. Basically.
And you're all like, algorithm, too messy for me.
Too messy for me. Too much.
Too messy
Take it away.
I wasn't ready.
Take it away. I can't handle it.
Man.
Because I'll be trying to, write dissertations in people's, this is why,
So is that even, so you putting it out there like that? Because let's look at like Child Protective Services. I watched this movie, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's called Ezra. It's probably not in theaters anymore now, but it was a great movie.
Child Protective Services isn't really.
It was about a autistic boy, and then there was a dad that was really trying to advocate for him, and then they were saying that he couldn't see his son. Some stuff happened, and then he took his son. And it's like I'm not mad at it. I've actually thought about that several times. Like, would I do that 100%? Because you're not going to tell me how to raise my kid. But at the same time, from their perspective, they might be thinking, oh, this child is being exploited. This child is being this, that, and the third. And even though they're cognitive enough to make decisions, they're going to be all like, no, we have to step in and we have to help. So it's like in a situation like this, would that be appropriate? Having no idea what goes on inside the house other than what you've now kind of,
Right.
you kind of let everybody into your house
Yeah.
with this. So now it's like, if somebody sees that and then calls like, "Doo-doo-doo-doo-doo." So this is little boy Justin, and he's with this light skinned chick, and they were on TikTok, and then they do research and they show up at your door. Now it's all like, well,
I'll come on this platform to share my life with y'all. That's what it would be, because I've seen it before. And then you turn around and you...
is that social media's fault? Like how have we gotten here? It's like it would have happened anyway, but because social media is here, we see it? Or is it like this wouldn't have happened if it weren't for social media?
Because we've normalized being too much into people's business. Like some things you don't need to share. Like, obviously you're not with dude anymore. I didn't deep dive into it, but obviously he's not there. Who cares if he posted a video saying you lying? Like, you got your kid now being like, it's just, I don't know.
And then how are they going to feel when they get older? They're going to be all like, Mom, why'd you do that? Like, you don't realize how much that messed me up, Mom?
And she's going to be like, boy.
By that time, hopefully she'll be all like, you know what?
Hopefully she'll evolve.
You're right. But it is why you're not paying for college. So I don't know.
That is one thing I will say about the other influencer I watched that I was saying that's messy, ghetto. She tells us way too much, but she be investing. She got her money put away for her 2 kids. And I believe every word of it. So it's like, so then it becomes, okay, well, I'm being a little messy on the internet and I'm telling too much, but I'm getting all this money and my kids are going to be set. Mm-hmm. So it's like.
So how do you feel about trashing adults that are in your child's life? Even if it's not their parent, but that he's going to be some kind of a father figure because he's been in the house. Mm-hmm. So what's the damage? Do you feel like by any means we should protect the children? And you don't even have to lie. You can just be all like, yeah, I don't think you're ready for that conversation. So
100%.
I'm not going to lie to you, but yeah, I think you're too young for it. And when 100%. I think you can understand it, then I'll explain more to you. But just know that I'm making the decision that I think is best. And 100%. Then when you get older, it'll be like that. Instead of just being all like, well, Daddy's just on a vacation.
Yeah.
Daddy slipped and fell into Mrs. Landau. It's like, so he's not gonna be here. And then even in that vein, even if it's like that, I feel like parents, not just women with men, but even men, women, like they want to punish their ex-lover through the children. And it's like, dude, your parenting doesn't have that much to do with your failure.
Talk about grinding my gears.
Like your failure as my partner, husband, boyfriend, whatever. Like, say you cheated. I might make you're not the greatest husband. You're not the greatest boyfriend. But that doesn't mean that you're a horrible father to the child who needs you in their life to give, guidance. And it's all like, well, don't give me guidance on relationships per se, but maybe in other areas, or even like, hey, listen, I made a mistake. Daddy messed up.
I was going to say, and even then, by the time the kid is ready for that kind of advice, yeah, nothing grinds my gears more. Nothing is.
You did not just say grind.
Nothing pisses me off more.
Oh, you're editing it?
What's that?
Okay, grind gears.
What's that saying?
Makes my blood boil?
The hill I'll die on, or whatever, than bitter baby mamas and our baby fathers, but it's women more often.
Bitter baby mamas and fragile baby fathers.
Yes. Nothing gets me mad more than you using your kid as a pawn, than you trying to hurt the other person it's hurting your child.
Yep.
Take it from someone. My oldest is 16. His dad and I broke up when he was like 3 months old.
Months? Goodness
he was
gracious.
A baby.
Goodness gracious.
He was a baby.
His whole life y'all ain't been together.
No. And it wasn't super smooth when we first broke up, but for me, it was super duper important to all. If there's a father who was a good father who wants to be active, who
Right.
am I to block my child from that blessing?
Right. And it's
Are
yes.
you joking me?
Exactly.
It pisses me off. It makes me so mad. Like, ah! But I mean, I've always just made sure like he would go visit for summers, whatever. Even right now, my 16-year-old is living with his dad full time. He was with me for 15 years. You know, it was a whole conversation. He plays basketball. He's definitely going to the NBA. He's fire. But it was a whole year-long conversation. You know what I'm saying? He wanted to do that. And who am I to stand in the way of that? His dad was ready for it. He was ready for it. And so now he lives with his dad full time, you know, to finish out high school. Like,
so he's Trey. Boys in the Hood.
Oh my gosh. Anyways.
Not in the least. But
not in the least.
But yeah, and he's old enough to be like, you know, yeah, and it also teaches consequence. So
sure.
It's like it's a stepping stone in his development.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So I think that it's like he's not a baby. He's not gonna get killed. And I think that is it almost I'm gonna say it's bull crap, but it's like parents be like, well, I just want to make sure I'm looking out for the kids. Like, no, you want to make sure you're looking out for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And you're putting it under the guise of saying that it's for the kids, because what's best for the kids is to have both of us here. And we can be like, okay, we can let go of this chapter and then move on to another chapter. And say what you will about like Will Smith and them, but the fact that they had like a Christmas where like all sides of the family were like in a cabin, it's like, yeah, that's dope, because there's no limit to the love. And it's not like you get less love. Now, if your parent gets with somebody else, then that should be more love that you
100%.
get. It's like, all right, well, now our family is extended. And it's not perfect. It wouldn't have been perfect even with the nuclear family.
Hello.
Ideal, but it's still not going to be perfect. So it's just going to be different. Well, you don't have to be cliche and buy into this, well, you're my ex, so now I have to hate you.
Right.
And it's all like, who says that?
Y'all literally could be cool.
Like who said, like what? Why?
It's insane.
For what?
It's insane. I know someone who like his kids don't talk to him, you know, there's all these feelings of, oh, well, I just need my space from the daughter. And it's like, how did those thoughts even start to
The mother?
materialize?
Mama.
You know what I mean? It's just like, and this is someone who I know is a loving, active, you know what I'm saying? So it's just so weird to me. And I don't understand how they don't see that trying to hurt that person by using your kid is actually hurting your kid. And what's going to happen is that kid's going to grow up to be an adult. They're going to start learning the truth. They're going to start asking questions. They're going to start probing. And then they're going to come back and hate you. That was one of my biggest motivations. I was like, my kids ain't ever going to come back to me. Like, why would you hold this person
why'd
from
you
me?
keep
Why would you do that? Absolutely not. We gonna work through whatever we gonna work through, and you gonna be there for your kids, and that's just is what it is.
I know I have a friend. I have a pretty close female friend, and she was talking about that. And it was like, there's issues I have to work through. And like my mother was talking about my father in certain ways. And it's like, I say this, like, you're not girlfriends, like your mother and daughter. And I tell my daughter this, I say, listen, I'm not your friend, I'm your dad. That's better than a friend. You know what I'm talking about? Because I'm a legit have your best interests at heart.
Mm-hmm.
And I make sure I'm like, look, you can talk to me. So I'm here to talk to. Other girls might not be able to talk to their dad, but you can talk to your dad.
Yeah.
Make sure you know that. You can talk to me. I don't care what your friends say, because it's going to happen. You know what I'm talking about? But I want to instill in her, like, I know that I can bring this to my dad. He's going to be like, you know, level-headed. He's going to be compassionate and empathetic.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like at the end of the day, like, that's what's important, is like not projecting your adult feelings onto your impressionable child. They don't have the same development, so they're going to internalize that junk. And then where do you think they're going to place it? They're going to place it on either one of the parents.
Yep.
Like, upset at him, and then now I'm upset at you.
Yep.
Now I'm upset at myself. Now I'm cutting myself because I don't know. And these feelings and emotions are all over the place. And it's all like, let's make sober-minded decisions. Because the decision to get in this relationship wasn't sober-minded.
Right.
When we got knocked up, wasn't sober-minded. But you know what we can do? It's never too late to correct that wrong.
How you preaching today?
I preach most of the time. That's what,
Boy,
servant
you better
shepherd.
say that.
You know what I'm talking about? St. Matthew Christian Church. If y'all want to come down, Sacramento, you know what I'm saying? Get this gospel.
Anyways, I think that was a good episode.
Just like all the other ones.
Took some turns, took some pivots, but you know, that was good. Let us know what you guys think. If you're a bitter baby mama and you need some coaching. Nah, I'm playing. I ain't no life coach. You know what I'm saying? But like, you know, I just want to say bitter baby mama again, to be honest.
Right. But you can teach them how to be the mother with kids with multiple fathers and still be...
And be cordial.
I'm talking about? Even if you are a pastor's kid. You know what I'm saying?
Even if you are. And I dare you to come for me for having multiple baby daddies. And
oh, we got to talk about that too. Because I was like, from afar, I was all like, oh, shoot. I was like, there's people who would take issue with that just because of the title like that's on you. And I'm all like, that's crazy how growing up, I don't feel like we were raised like that. But then you grow up in America and then see all these stigmas and people putting, and I'm all like, oh my gosh, I could almost guarantee people in the church are all like, oh, the pastor's daughter. But he's a human. You know
right.
like,
100%.
Yeah, that's another episode.
That is another episode because there's a lot of things going through my mind, but I'm going to save them. Anyways, thank y'all for tuning in to
like,
episode
share, subscribe.
Number 4.
This is 4.
Number 4. We getting
deuces
up there.
On deuces.
Deuces times do. Anyways, episode number 4. Thanks for tuning in. And
you messed it up. I said it good. You did. You were putting dubs on it.
You did.
You were putting deuces on it. Like, oh my, I can go all day.
I'm tired today, so who knows what's going to be coming out of this mouth of mine. But anyways, should we say deuces?
That one wasn't. Yeah, you are tired. That one could have been better.
It could have.
Episode 5. We're going to do it again.
Yeah.